Alright, so next up I want to see that fireball fly. I mean, you know you want to. Oh man, there's a second Austin Powers reference in this video series already, I think. Maybe I deleted the first one though, but shouldn't do too many of those. Alright, I'm messing up here. So it's actually Shift L to delete this. So I need another sprite, and my sprite is going to be S projectile Hadouken, and that's going to be the actual fireball. So yeah, I'm going to have to load a sprite for that. Let's see if I can actually do it with load sprite if I just get the resources straight away. Will it import the entire image, or would it actually... Oh, it will split it up. So that's how you do it if you have your GameMaker image, sprite image, you know, cut up nicely. That is actually pretty cool. Alright. So I got my Hadouken in there, and you know, you guys can... if I haven't given you these files, you'll have to use the master sprite and just cut them out manually. So again, we want to... Well, we basically just want to put this in the middle, I think. Well, I'm just going to use the values that they used in my final project real quick. See what I put it at. So I put it at 0, X at 0, and Y at 104. So then everything's going to match up neatly for me. Not sure if that will work for you guys, but it probably will because I'll give you the numbers. Anyway, why was I second guessing that? So we need an object for it, so we're going to call this object O projectile. Oh, beautiful projectile. Alright, no, just O projectile. And no sprite is needed for this thing here. So basically, the way we're going to have this work is through our player and the special moves thing again. Because we're going to spawn an instance of the fireball whenever we do this. So that's actually something that we want to add to this script. So spawn fireball object. Right? So the thing with that is... Wait. Looks like, yeah, here we go. So how does that work? And you can spawn stuff in GameMaker like you wouldn't believe. And I'm just going to call the projectile, I guess. And we're going to do instance create X, Y, and we're going to spawn O projectile. So that's what this function will do. It will put an instance of O projectile at the X and Y value that you give here. And if you assign it to a variable, you can use that variable to actually control it later on. So I'm going to do projectile.owner equals object name object index. So what this will do is, wait, I need object get name. Sorry, made a mistake here. I saw it because it didn't turn yellow. So what this will do is it will, when the fireball object is created, before it runs its create script even, it will, no actually, when you do this it will run its create script. Right after creating the create script, it will create this variable named owner and assign the information in here. And this is actually information about our O player. So it will get the object index of O player and then look for the name of the object. And that's actually O player, literally. The value that's in there is O player. Now, the reason why I want to do this is because we're going to have two players who all are going to share this script. And I need to know whose fireball is hitting which player. So it's good to give your fireball a name. And actually, whenever you have one instance of an object, create an instance of another object, I always recommend that you just do this owner little thing, so that you know where it comes from. Alright. So next we're going to set the sprite index, obviously, to O projectile Hadouken. And O projectile, S projectile Hadouken, obviously. And then we're going to set the image index, straightforward stuff, to 0, so the animation is where you want it to be. And something... No, I guess I'm not gonna go there just yet. We'll have to revisit the script later on, but I think this is a good start. So when we do all this stuff, we should see a projectile, right? Or am I wrong about that? We'll see. Well, all right. I made, yeah, Jesus. Sorry about that, guys. That was a little ridiculous. All right. Here we go. So we're just basically putting these projectiles on top of our player and spawning them. And they're flickering and they're poorly animated and they're not moving, but we're spawning them. So let's get them moving. And to do that, we're gonna have to create a couple of things. So first of all, create event is what we're gonna need, and we're gonna also need a step event. In a create event, we're gonna declare some variables. So declare and set variables. Same old story, and we're gonna do the animation speed. So image speed equals 0.25, like everything else. So that will take care of that already, and I think that's all we need for now. And then in the step event, we're gonna have to get to work. Now, normally what you would do is, but that's not, well, normally what you would do is you'd launch the fireball, right? And launching the fireball, we could basically do something like this, motion add. So this adds motion to an object, and you need to give it a direction. So we're going to give this a direction of 0, which is basically going to the right. And we're going to give it a speed of maybe 5. 10 might be a bit much. So set the fireball in motion. So let's run this thing. I got music in here. It's a good song. Anyway, see how it's flying? But it's still not okay, because we want to, you know, if we open the projectile Hadouken again, it starts with a couple of empty frames, which are there so that our player has a time to do this thing. And basically, on the build-up, the fireball is already there, but not visible. And when the player is clenching his hands for the first time, the fireball appears around the hands, that's image 3. And then it starts flying at image 4 when the player is still extended, and then the player will release, and we still want to keep him at image 4. So we need to put some code in there that will manage that animation for us. So, hey, we can do that. We're good, right? So, at this point, so first of all, we want to have this fireball come out when the image index hits 3. So if image index is 3, we're going to shoot that fireball. All right, that's pretty cool. But, wait, this was... we can't do this in the create event anymore. We need to do this in the step event. Because if we do this in the create event, the image index is never going to be 3. So let's take this one out. Go to the step event, put some code in there. And fire at 3, basically. 1, 2, 3, fire! All right. So that's what we need here. And something that could be cool is if you want to have the fireball pick up speed, all you have to do is put the greater sign in there, because that means that if the image index is higher than 3, it will go faster. And, well, it will actually go up and down if you do this, but the speed will already be pretty fast at that point at 5, because you'll go 5, 10, 15, and then it'll drop down, but it'll still be 10, and, you know, like I said, it's pretty fast. So, anyway, set the fireball in motion. Next up, we want to stop the animation at the last sub-image. So, what we want to do is just that. Stop animation at last sub-image. And the way we do that is if our image index equals the image number. So image number is basically, well, let me just pull it up. It's it tells you how many images there are in a sprite. So it will be 4 here. And one thing that you got to keep in mind is, you know, it doesn't take the 0 thing into account. You know, if you got 4 images, it's going to be 4. It's not going to be 3 because the last image index is 3. So you'll have to do image number minus 1, right? So once image index becomes 3, we're going to move forward, and we're going to set the image speed at 0, basically. So we stop the animation on that thing. All right. All right, we're firing fireballs now, I guess. All right, let's do an Hadouken. Look how pretty that shit is. Oh. Sorry, shouldn't curse in these videos. We're firing fireballs, people. And you should hear Hadouken every time he does it. Now, I'm just going to copy this thing over real quick because it's so easy. But, oh, I can't copy over from one version of Game Maker to the next. Alright. So, finally, the one thing we want, you know, whenever something goes out of bounds, you should... So I'm just going to call it OOB script. We just want to destroy it. Oh, I just copied it like this. We just want to destroy the instance when it goes out of bounds. So whenever x is smaller than minus sprite width, so we have to take the sprite width into account. You don't just want, you know, a reference point. If this is our fireball, wait, let me. If this is our fireball going, our reference point is actually down here in the bottom. So if it's gonna go off, if it's off screen down here, you know, we still see it. So we're gonna do minus the sprite width, and if x is larger than the room width plus sprite width, we destroy the instance. So you're not really gonna see this happening, but you know, you don't want to have fireballs flying forever and ever until at some point you reach some sort of a weird limit. I don't know. I'm sure Game Maker has a way to deal with it, but just destroy it when it gets out of bounds. Alright, and now we got our projectile, we got a fireball in, and everything's looking really cool. Make sure you save your stuff, backups are on you. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about all this stuff right now. You know, we basically, all we have to do is regular movement, and jumping, and all these things are easier than what we've done so far. The last tricky bit is those hitboxes, basically. And then we do the points, and we make a second player. So yeah, going strong. See you in the next